Alrighty, so we are into the final steps of finishing our wonderful landscape, and I've got my bottom mountain here dry. Now we're going to add in those stars of the show, those two trees that are going to live right here in the middle. So typically what I like to do is use a ruler to kind of draw out the trunk at least, or to give me at least a guideline. Because once you start painting, things can start to tilt, so it's just easier. So I just line up my ruler where I think I want my trees to go, and I think I'm going to put one here that's actually going to go up into the skyline. And I don't do my pencil line very dark. I try to do it lightly because it will show through your watercolor, so if those things concern you, you can just erase it a little bit. Just make sure that you can just kind of see it as a guideline. So there's my first tree, and I think I'll do my second one living about right here. And always you want to vary the height, give it some interest. And I'm going to start with my number 3 brush. And once again, you're using light. You're going to start light. Remember, you can always darken it up. And colors are really up to you as well. I'm going to start with some of my mauve. And I think I'll start on this smaller tree first. So once again, I just start at the top, just with the tip, and then start to bring out some branches. And the only thing you have to remember with these is that as you go down, things will start to get wider. So I typically will draw a little piece of the branch and then do some little frillies coming out, some branches coming out, grab another color maybe, another little piece of the branch, and some more limbs coming out. And once I get down to the bottom, I'm just going to have it go right into the top of the mountain here. So just kind of bringing it all the way down, kind of like the base of that tree lives behind this mountain where our eye can't see. And I'm just going to come back in and add a little more different colors, maybe even some pink. Just kind of mix and mingle colors together. Remember, it will dry lighter. Pull out some of the edges here. These two are going to sit next to each other, so a lot of this side will kind of get lost in that front tree. Okay, so you can, it's really up to you. I am not going to let this tree dry before I start this tree. It's really just how you want it to look. You can try it both ways and see what you like best. But I'm going to go ahead and start on my second tree here. So same thing. I just start with the top of the trunk. And then just start adding my branches in. And these two, like I said, will just kind of collide with each other. So you're going to have some areas where you've got some of that background peeking through, and that's exactly what you want to happen. And also you'll notice too, especially as this starts to dry, that you will be able to see the range of, or that mountain will kind of show through your trees. I'm going to show you a dried piece. These types of things, it doesn't bother me. I kind of like the way it looks. So remember, we're not taking a picture here, we're making art. So I just don't worry about things like that. I think it just kind of adds to the delicacy of watercolor, and like I said, this is a painting, so it just looks like magical watercolor to me. So that will show through. If you don't want it there, if it bothers you, you can kind of scrub. You just keep working with wetness to kind of get that line out. And sometimes it works better than others, but anyway, so there we go. We've got our stars of the show, and while it's wet, I'm going to add a little more pink to this one back here, just so it really has a little pop of color up there. I kind of like it. And I'm going to let those dry, and I'm going to start adding my wording down here. So for wording, if you don't like your handwriting, I am not the teacher to show you how to do lettering. There's a ton of watercolor lettering classes out there. I truly just rely on my the way I write, so it's nothing spectacular. I take a pencil, and for this I think I'm just going to do, what am I going to do? Maybe Magic Exists. That's what I'm going to do. So I take a pencil and very lightly just write it in. And this way too, if you don't like it, you can erase. If you do it lightly, you just don't want to erase too much. And here's the way I do my wording. So I use a small brush, and I combine colors while I'm doing it. And on my upstrokes, so in other words, this is an upstroke, these will be small, and when I go down, I make these a bit thicker. So I grab different colors. My upstrokes are a little smaller, and I just see how those colors just combine, and then my downstrokes will be a little thicker. So I'm going to let all of this dry. Remember that it's going to dry lighter, so even though some of it might look intense, wait for it to dry before you fix anything. And for lettering also, you can use stamps. There's all sorts of ways. You could even make this mountain here much darker and use your white Sharpie pen to write in words, I've done that as well. So there's all different kinds of ways that you can add a little more magic here if you are not confident in using your handwriting. So anyway, I hope you really enjoyed this. This is, like I said, one of my most favorite formats to do, and I can't wait to see what you create.